I forgot to turn the sound on. Always a live content. All right, so the Emmys ran 10 minutes late. I ran 10 minutes late. Getting used to covering live content, a live show with my own live show, still getting the hang of it. I guess I should have given myself a little bit more breathing room, but I wanted you to feel that it was right after the telecast. But when I do this again, I'll make sure that I buffer in a little bit more time. And I hope you'll understand yourselves, how much, a lot of work goes into these streams to put them together so quickly, especially if I'm going to have a lot of graphics. Like I do, I'm loaded up, baby. Hey, Julio. Julio gifted a membership, and that's right. This is technically the first stream of the week, so it's time for me to gift 5 memberships. Here we go. I gift 5 memberships every week to try, in my own way, to match your incredible generosity. So thank you, as always. There they are. Memberships are always the best way to support this channel, as it helps me, particularly during, I think, one of the roughest years in the entertainment business. But also it helps other people. They get a membership as well. Thank you, Julio. Julio gifted more memberships. Danny, thank you so much. Not Modern Art. Not Modern Art. I was interacting with you on Twitter. And I've actually uploaded my tweets here for us to go over because that allows me to have my notes as well. Now let's start off. The Emmys had a tough time this evening. They had to compete not only with football, Sunday Night Football, but another, let's just say another, I'm not quite sure how censorship works on YouTube, so let's just say another situation with Trump. So it was quite the news evening. The Emmys had a tough time trending, but they eventually got up there. And I think that the actual Emmys telecast was not great. I thought they did not a great job. As much as I love the Levies, I love them. I wear the same glasses sometimes. I think they're great. I thought their best gag was when they were in different sides of the aisles. They were in different aisles. And that wasn't a great gag. They're usually quite funny. I just don't think their style of humor lent itself to this format. And also, they made the unfortunate choice to repeat what they did last year, where they have like a spotlight on a group of actors, a subcategory, and they put them in a nice little set. Last year, they were doing like show reunions. They were like, it's the cast of Frasier and the cast of Cheers. And this year, they were doing like famous groupings, like TV lawyers, TV doctors, TV police people. And while it was fine, it wasn't particularly funny. It took too much time. And I did not care for it. I thought it was a really weak show. It's funny that some of you say that it's their Canadian humor, eh? I don't know if that was it. But one of my notes that I took while I was watching this is I know who's not going to get nominated for an Emmy in the future, and that's the team behind this Emmy telecast. I will say, there we go. I will say that this was the one thing I loved. And they had villains. And by the way, Kathy Bates is a movie villain. So she was there clearly to promote Matlock. But I'm like, what the heck is she doing here? This is supposed to be TV. And it wasn't lost on me that she was bookended by actors from The Boys. However, to see Anthony Starr there made my day, because this show is like in its 4th season and he has not gotten any recognition. She was an American Horror Story? All right, that's good. I was thinking, didn't she say Misery though? Wasn't her joke about Misery? But anyway, and yes, Giancarlo, of course, was the villain in The Mandalorian. He was the villain in Breaking Bad. He's played a lot of villains. But to me, the fact that Anthony Starr was included finally and got some recognition at this level made me very happy. Hey, heck no. I was just so pleased to see that, to see him there, because I don't think this show has, very smart show, very popular show. It's crazy that it's been ignored. Although I will say that while The Boys has like no nominations, Fallout got a lot of nominations, but didn't win a single frickin' award. Fallout, of course, being the video game adaptation on Prime Video. So it's rough out there. It's rough out there for genre content. But at least Anthony Starr got to be there. I am still spoiled to this day by the incredible Emmys ceremony that Keegan Thompson hosted. I was talking about Keegan-Michael Key all day earlier, filming my Transformers 1 review, which Keegan-Michael Key blew it out of the park with that. But Kenan Thompson, of course, Saturday Night Live, he was an incredible host for the Emmys 2 years ago. This was what the stage looked like. There he was calling attention to the fact that Friends was very whitewashed. And it was just an absolutely wonderful ceremony. I thought that this was really well done. I thought the stage was incredible. I thought that the bits were good. I thought it was very relaxed. I just was really, really impressed with this show. And Kenan Thompson was a wonderful host, and I wonder if he was involved in the producing of it as well. But I'm still, to this day, 2 years later, hoping that the Emmys will be as good as this presentation. And twice in a row, it has not been. This was a great opening act with the dancing, and they did Game of Thrones. I mean, it was great. I watched it multiple times the next morning. All right, so let's talk about the big controversy, and that's The Bear. I'm sure The Bear is glad that it ended up not winning a lot of awards because it's a tough. The Bear was very celebrated. For a while there, we were seeing shows sweep. Ted Lasso sweeped. Hacks was big tonight, but Hacks is sweeped. Ted Lasso was a big sweep. And I think it's exciting to see a show sweep the first time. Abbott Elementary, that telecast I just spoke about, 2022, was huge for Abbott Elementary. Big night for that show. Really, really fantastic. But I think that when the shows continue to sweep, I think it becomes frustrating because new shows are coming up, new talent, and they're not getting recognized. Now, of course, it's not the actor's fault, and that's what this tweet is talking about, which I appreciated. Here Variety asked Ayo Edebiri and Ibn Mas Bakrak to weigh in on whether or not The Bear is a comedy or a drama. Now, I think the quote is unfortunate, saying comedy, drama, who cares? A lot of people care. A lot of people care, particularly in the comedy category. But I think that was not a great spot to put these two actors in. However, I think this is a person who works in the industry. Nicole Levy points out that it isn't fair to ask the actors, obviously, but it makes a huge difference. This person says, writing jokes and punchlines is a very different thing than finding humor in a dramatic story. Comedy writers work darn hard at it, and the Academy needs to fix the categories once and for all. I think that that's true. Writing comedy with punchlines is very difficult. And I think that, they have to, I think there are a couple of shows that are in the wrong categories, and I don't think that it's fair. And I think that The Bear, I think it has a number of things going against it, and as you'll see from my upcoming tweet, but I think a big problem with it is that it's not a comedy really at all. That's right. White Lotus is kind of cheating in that they're having multiple seasons, but they insist they're a limited series. But not only is season 3 really bad, all the awards tonight were for season 2 for The Bear. But not only is season 3 really bad, but not only is season 3 really bad, but I think taking the awards from other talented actors is tough. It's a bad situation. I'm sure that they're glad that they didn't win any of the major categories, and I'm sure that lead actor Jeremy is probably a little bit, probably feels maybe he shouldn't have won this evening in his category. So let's go through these winners. I'm not going to do them in the order they were handed out. I'm going to focus on the shows, the sections. And we're going to start out with comedy because we're talking about this. Lewis says, should there be categories for dramedies? No, the show is long enough as it is. The Bear is a drama. 1,000%. Shogun had funny moments. Drama. So I feel like, I don't think shows should be allowed to decide for themselves which category that they're in. You submit, and the Academy lets you get away with it, unfortunately. All right, so the first big win, I was very happy about it, was that not The Bear, but Hacks ended up winning Best Comedy. Now, there were other great comedies that were nominated, a lot of tough categories this evening, but it was just great to see a comedy win, like a very strong comedy that has punchlines and jokes and is, undoubtedly belongs in this category. Also, their season 3, and I believe this is for season 3, that they're, it's really frustrating when a show isn't synced up with the Emmys. But this is for season 3, and it's an incredible show. I think it's its best season yet. I think it had a lot of really important stuff to say, and it did so in a funny way, and I was really thrilled to see it win. They were very surprised they won, as you can see from the reactions of the winners here. They were like, what? We won? That's crazy. All right. Then next, as you can see, for actor, this was early on in the telecast, and as you can see, I was frustrated that The Bear had won yet again. This actor, Jeremy Allen White, while I'm a fan, although I've got to tell you, season 3 was so bad, it kind of made me dislike everybody associated with the show. Just a little bit. But season 3 I felt just so awful that it was such pretentious garbage that I just was like, not interested. You ask who else was nominated. Well, for some of these, I did snap the nominees for the most egregious situations. Here, I mean, really, although is Reservation, I have not watched Reservation Dogs. Is that a comedy? I will say that I think that the other 4 actors in this category are definitely in a comedy, and I think that I would have been happy with any one of them winning. So, I think that, Jeremy Allen White already won last year, so I don't really think he needed to win again. And again, he doesn't even have a funny headshot, so I think that was just disappointing. All right, then next up, Jean Smart. As you can see, I said she's extremely talented, and Hacks is a great show. But I'm tired of the same people always winning. I think this is her 3rd time winning this category for this show. I think it's just too much. I think she's wonderfully talented. And again, I love her on this show. But this is another one that I snapped the nominees. And I think, Ayo and Quinta have won before. Selena Gomez, she's been shunned. I mean, at least she was nominated this time. But Selena Gomez has not won for Only Murders. I don't think she gets enough respect for what she contributes to that show. She's able to keep up and in many times hold her own against comedy legends. That's incredible. Martin Short and Steve Martin. I really feel, I would have liked to have seen her win this. And then, I don't know if you've seen Palm Royale, but Kristen Wiig, I mean, that was just, she really leveled up as an actress. It was very funny. It was definitely a comedy, but it had very strong dramatic moments. Her monologue at the end of the show, in the final episode, was amazing. Just absolutely stunning. So I was I was a little disappointed to see Jean Smart take it yet again. Again, very talented. All these women are talented. But I would like to just see, I almost feel like you shouldn't be able to be nominated 2 years in a row. Maybe there needs to be a rule like that, because I think that there's too much content, there's too much good content, and I think that stuff is not getting the recognition that it should. We had a couple of really good things as the night continued, though, that I'm very excited to talk to you about. So that was tough. All right, then next, this, it was funny. I'm not used to seeing Ebon clean shaven like this. I guess that's for the thing. I was like, whoa, he looks really different. But again, I mean, I can understand why he won, because Forks was an episode in season 2. It's one of the best episodes of television, period, I've ever seen. So part of me is like, yeah, I get why he wins. But again, he won just last year. So like it's a little frustrating to me. But again, I can't get too angry about it because he was in such an incredible episode. Also this, Liza Cologne Zayas. I recognize her husband, by the way, or who she attended with. I was like, I'm familiar, that actor as well. I didn't get a chance to look him up, but I thought that, I think she has been a really big part of this show, the heart of the show, since the beginning. Since the very beginning, of the show, I noticed her and I was like, that's an incredible actress who really can pull focus from who's supposed to be the leads. It's funny. John Leguizamo gave a very moving speech about, inclusion and representation. And he talked about the bear. And he said, a lot of, white main characters trying to get Michelin stars and make sure the kale tastes right. And I thought that he didn't go all the way. I've never known John Leguizamo to pull his punches. But I thought he should have said, who are the people in the kitchen who actually make it happen? And on the bear, it is the characters of color who actually do the cooking and and bring it home. And I think that really speaks to a lot of restaurants across the globe, big and small. And that's one of the things, that's one of the commentaries I think that show is making that gets very little recognition. But yes, I was so happy to see her win. And I hope that she, I think she was so moved. I mean, I love seeing the celebration of the working actor. I mean, can you imagine how long she's been working in Hollywood, a working actress who can support herself and continue to pursue that career, but not to the point where she has any recognition or any probably feeling of job security. And so finally, at this stage in her career and her life, to get that recognition, I think it's just, it was really beautiful to see. So I was very happy for her to win. I mean, I was so frustrated that in If she had such a tiny role as nurse. I was like, are you kidding me? All right, then it won the bear. This is Christopher Storer, who, by the way, I wonder if he wanted to be an actor at first because he's given major actor vibes in this photo. But he is the creator of The Bear, and he directed the Fishes episode from season 2, which was the big guest star Christmas episode that was pretty freaking incredible. So again, I understand why he won, but again, that was an incredibly dramatic episode. I can't believe it won Best Comedy Directing. I mean, I didn't laugh at that episode really at all, but I was in awe of the human drama that was unfolding before my eyes. Jamie Lee Curtis, by the way, won on an earlier section, that was from a couple of days ago. She did win Best Guest for The Bear. All right, then as for writing, though, Hacks took this one as well. So I was really happy to see that. Again, it's tough when it's the same show, winning everything, and Hacks already kind of had its moment. But I think Jean Smart really had her moment. I don't think the behind-the-scenes people had as much recognition, so it was nice to see them get that this time. And by the way, when they won Best Comedy Series, Jean Smart was really nice and had everybody else go up before her. And she went up last to the stage, and I thought it was nice that she did that. All right, then let's talk about drama. Oh, I was getting nervous for Shogun. I was getting real nervous. Shogun was supposed to sweep tonight. It was supposed to win the most Emmys in Emmy history. And it started out with a loss for Best Supporting Actor in Drama, which we'll talk about, which was a devastating loss, by the way. You were like, oh, God, we were all rooting for the same actor. And he lost to someone who'd already won before. That was devastating. So I was getting really nervous that Shogun wasn't going to get its flowers. So to see it actually win for Best Drama. And by the way, I don't know if you saw this tweet on X the other day, but somebody talked about the new season of Emily in Paris. And apparently Emily has a boyfriend who's French. And he lost his temper during this latest season, the fact they always speak English together, and he never can speak in his native language. And a lot of people in the comments on that tweet, I'm going somewhere with this, a lot of people in the comments on that tweet said, you don't understand if you only speak one language, how difficult it is and what a disadvantage it puts you at to be speaking your non-native language. So you're constantly like translating in your head. And I thought that was really interesting. And I only speak one language. I've tried to learn other languages. So that was really interesting to me. And then during this acceptance speech, Hiroyuki Sanada, who'd already won for Best Actor, he wanted to speak for the Best Drama Series because he's a producer on the show as well. And he asked if he could deliver his acceptance speech in Japanese. And he asked the creator of the show to translate for him. And it was so moving for him to speak in Japanese and to talk about the importance of representation. I was looking him up the other night because they were interviewing him on the run-up for this show, and I was like, Hiroyuki Sanada, I love you. What else have you done? I wanted to watch an early performance of his. And I saw that one of the first Hollywood movies he did was The Last Samurai. So he's standing there. Oh yeah, that woman crying in the audience, Aizen, I saw her as well. She's one of the actresses from the show, I believe. But, to go from The Last Samurai to this, where he gets to play a more complex, exciting, like in The Last Samurai, I only watched the trailer. I saw the movie a long time ago. I don't remember it very well. But in the trailer, he was the guy who was giving Tom Cruise a problem because he didn't feel Tom Cruise was a real samurai. And I'm like, what a sucky role. So I'm just so happy that he got to do this and that I thought that moment was beautiful. And I think you should always open yourself up to what other people are experiencing and where they're coming from. And I think you'll better appreciate and understand the moments that you're seeing. So that was fantastic. All right, so then he won. He had won Best Actor. I was so nervous he wasn't going to win, and he won. I'm very excited for his career. He's won a number of awards in his native Japan. Not really any recognition here in the United States. I hope this leads to a lot more work for him in more serious roles. Although, of course, he will return in Mortal Kombat 2. All right, then Anna Sawai won Best Actress. Oh, I was nervous about this too, but she won. I'm sorry I don't have a closer photo, but they pulled back right away. I wanted to make sure I always got the lower third in the photo, and so it was rough sometimes. But she looks stunning. I'm very happy for her. She also has had a difficult path in Hollywood. She's in the new Pachinko season 2. I'm very happy that she won, and I think she and Hiroyuki Sanada were this show. So I'm so happy that they both got the recognition that they deserve. All right, then, as you can see, I was like, first loss of the night for Shogun. This was right at the top of the show, and it's Best Supporting Actor in a Drama, and Billy Crudup won again for The Morning Show. I don't watch The Morning Show. I'm not going to watch The Morning Show. I don't care how many nominations and awards that they give it. However, I did see 1 or 2 episodes, and I thought Billy Crudup was pretty darn good on it. But he won last year. Look at the category, okay? This is who he beat out. This is nuts, all right? I don't really care about that many people in this, the only person I care about is Tadanobu Asano from Shogun. I think he was robbed. This guy was incredible on Shogun. He had such nuance to his role that went up and down, and it was just, the journey of that character was astounding. And again, this is an actor, Asano, who plays like these really he's also in Mortal Kombat, by the way, but outside of that, I think that a lot of his I'm saying Asano was robbed, and I watched Shogun. You guys are persnickety tonight. That's one of the I guess I'm spicy in a late night stream. Some of you are spicy in a late night stream. But yeah, thank you, Andrew. But anyway, I thought that Asano should have won hands down, and I was shocked that he did not take it. Particularly again for someone to get their second Emmy for the exact same role on the exact same show. That to me was really, really frustrating. I really felt bad about this loss. All right. Then, I'm sorry I couldn't get a better picture of her, but again, they were going too fast here. I was very happy that Elizabeth Debicki won. They said this was her first Emmy win. I think she didn't win the year before, and we were all like, okay, she'll win next year, and she did. She won a bunch of other awards, though. Somebody was like, not true, Grace. She won before. she won a ton of stuff. She won a Golden Globe. She won like all the other things like People's Choice and all that stuff or whatever. I think, there's a lot of awards shows. And they're out of order, and like the seasons don't always correlate to the awards show. It's nuts. But I thought that her Diana was a revelation. And again, speaking of understanding where someone's coming from, this show and her performance made me better understand Diana, who, I don't really know if I agree with all the choices that Diana made, but I finally understood them. And that was, I think, really crucial. And that's what I loved about the show. And particularly also when you see how women are vilified and all the misogyny that's out there. Look what's happening to Taylor Swift. It does call to mind Princess Diana. And I think that we can look back at what happened to her and understand it better now that we know what we know today. So, incredible show. Luke agrees with me. Yeah, it was just amazing. Okay. All right, then Shogun won. This was one of its first awards of the evening. I think it was the first award, as you can see, for directing. And for Crimson Sky, which was like the episode of the series. And I was a little worried because I was like, that guy's not Japanese. Obviously, we're so happy to see multiple people working on these shows, so we can get the best, product possible. But it would be really bad optics if only this guy won for Shogun. You'd be like, oh no, what happened? What has we done? But he directed the heck out of that episode, so good for him. He did a really nice job, and it was, again, I was just happy to see Shogun get on the board at that point. Then writing. This was a shocker. All right, so Slow Horses, where the actor's name is Will Smith. I don't know if he should have made a joke about it, to be honest with you, which he did when he took the stage. But this won Best Writing for a Drama Series, beating out not only Shogun, but Fallout and Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which was very strong in this category. And you would think at the very least that it would win here. But no, this show Slow Horses did on Apple TV. And I was like, does anyone watch Slow Horses? And I gotta tell you, a lot of people said that they did and it was really good, like Justin. And I'm like, I need a show to watch, so maybe I'll watch Slow Horses. I think it's like Sean's very happy for Slow Horses. People are happy for Slow Horses. JC loves it. I mean, it's like, I think they have a season that's on right now, but it's like in its third or fourth season? Like, I got a lot of episodes to watch, so I guess I'll check it out. Because I was shocked at this, but people who watched the show were like, deserved. And I was like, all right, maybe I should watch it. All right. Now let's talk limited series. Big night for Baby Reindeer. Baby Reindeer, as you might recall, made a huge splash. Huge splash when it debuted. But then people started to question, was it right to, Richard Gadd had done his best to hide the identity of the people he was discussing, but he was not successful, particularly with the woman, although she kind of stepped forward too. But it was tough, and so Netflix is currently being sued, and I think the British government is looking into it as well to decide whether or not they think if it was handled appropriately. So, like if every action was taken to protect the real life people, because I think it's a slippery slope to litigate these things, so to speak, in an entertainment environment, right? So that's really tough. So you can see that people haven't been talking about Baby Reindeer very much. So the fact that it won so many awards this evening, and I have to say, Gadd really stepped up with his acceptance speeches. I think that's going to really, bring the show back in a major way. And I didn't watch Baby Reindeer because I'd heard it was very triggering and it was very emotionally traumatic. And I didn't really know if that was something, I didn't watch Dahmer either. Like I try to protect myself in that emotional way. However, to win all these awards, I'm like, maybe I should I should watch it. Especially, I think I was particularly moved by what Gadd said. So let's talk about this. So Gadd won Best Actor in a limited series. Very tough category. I was so sad. I was like, my poor Andrew Scott for Ripley. Oh, I'm so sad. He beat John Hamm in Fargo. I mean, this was a tough category. However, he was very nice. He thanked his parents because he said he forgot to thank his parents. I thought that was funny. So that was good. But so this is the category that he won in. And as you can see, Andrew Scott, John Hamm, I thought Tom Hollander wasn't great. But Matt Bomer, I did not see Fellow Travelers either. And I know that a lot of people were really rooting for that as well. So I was surprised to see him beat out these other people. But well, hold on. We'll get to him in writing in a moment, because that's the first award that he won of the night. And that was just really incredible. So Best Actress in a Limited Series went to Jodie Foster. And I couldn't believe the camera, after she won, cut to Sofia Vergara being consoled by the people around her. I mean, we're all happy that Sofia Vergara has been able to continue her career, and she did a very nice job. But it's not like she blew everybody away. I mean, I even forgot she was nominated until they put her up there. I mean, I think that she showed a new side to her abilities. The show did very well for her. She has more money than she knows what to do with because of Modern Family. Don't cry for Sofia Vergara. A lot of you felt bad for Sofia. That's crazy. I have to tell you, I thought that what Jodie Foster did in True Detective was incredible. To see her, come roaring back to life as an actress after taking such a long break. And also, I think that what Jodie Foster did, and what was important to me, is that she showed a woman very much, and so did her co-star, Callie Reese, as a real person. She was a person. She didn't put everything through the lens of femininity and how does she feel about this as a woman. She just was. And I think there are becoming more and more women who are like that. And I think that's really exciting and exceptional. And I really loved the performance that she gave because of that. She was just a person. And I thought that was phenomenal. I really loved the work that she did. And I'm so happy that I'm glad that True Detective got something. Because it really needed that recognition as well, because the season had really come under a lot of attack. All right, then, Lamorne Morris, who of course is from New Girl. This is a comedy actor gone to, drama, although of course Fargo is a dramedy. But the fact that he won, I mean, that kind of glow up is incredible. Hey, Elpidio, thank you. This is the kind of, he's at the level of his career, early days, where you would think it was just amazing that he got nominated. You would never expect him to win. So there's that element. Then when he got nominated, he posted a really funny video of his daughter overhearing him getting the news. And she was kind of like teasing him, and it was just a really cute video. So the fact that it went all the way to a win just makes it an incredible story. You're like, wow, that's phenomenal. And I just think he's so talented. And if you watched Fargo, if you watched this season of Fargo, his character was incredible. I don't want to ruin anything for you, but that was quite the role. And he really did a nice job with it. Totally deserving. And I hope that this leads to even more opportunities for him. I just thought he was. And his speech was very funny, Paul. But yes, he's in Saturday Night Live, Kay Walton. Yeah, playing one of the original cast members as well. I really hope this is just the beginning of him taking off. Of course, he was very funny on New Girl, and I've seen him in a couple of things where I always thought he really stole the show and was very good. But you weren't sure he was going to make it, or ever level up to being like a lead. And I think he's on his way now. So that's really cool. All right. Then supporting actress went to Jessica Gunning for playing that infamous role in Baby Reindeer. And I'm sure we'll hear something from the inspiration, the real life inspiration. I mean, it's hard to break into this news cycle. There's a lot of crazy. But I'm sure that woman will find a way. What was her name? Like Martha or something, right? But yes, she gave a very nice speech as well. And it seemed for a moment like she might be the only one who would win from this show, which is, I think, maybe what you would potentially expect. But that's not what happened. It really went on to to dominate. All right, then directing for limited series. Hey, heck no. Directing for limited series went to Ripley. I don't think this is enough to maybe get a season 2, although this is the guy who would have to do it. He is the writer-director of Ripley, Steve Zalian, wrote Schindler's List, has done a lot of work, very prolific, incredible talent. He did The Night Of for HBO with Riz Ahmed and John Turturro. That was a limited series a couple years ago. But then Ripley, I thought, was truly a masterpiece, and he wrote and directed every single episode. But I don't know if this is a strong enough win for Netflix to spend the money, or Showtime. I'm not sure who would make the decision for a Ripley season 2. But it got a lot of nominations. It got 1 win. Star, White Lotus came back. Big Little Lies came back. You could do another anthology. It would be Ripley in another European city, and I think it would be still considered fine. Because other places have gotten away with it. And also, it was a limited series when they submitted it. All right, hold on. Okay, next up. All right, then this was crazy. So this was like a funny way that this worked. All right, so the Johnny Walker ad that started this off was insane. You're like, how much did Johnny Walker pay for this, and why on earth would these actors agree to it? Particularly Eva and Moss Bachrach. They were backstage at the bar. They were getting Johnny Walker Blue, and you were like, what the heck is happening here? And then they went out to present this ad. And I can't believe that Richard Gadd won his first award of the night as the second part of an ad. You're like, what? So that was bizarre. And then the microphone wasn't working. They were having problems with the microphone all night. It was having trouble coming in and out. It was making weird noises. And it was so weird that on this one, they didn't even get to say his name properly. So that was, but he won. And he really brought it home with, I thought, a really moving speech, which, as I said, brought me around to the show, even if it does really searingly depict emotional and physical trauma. And he said that to him what was important is that he was able to get over it and turn it into something positive. And again, I haven't seen the show, but I thought that was very inspiring. And I think it's a message that I think a lot of people need to hear, because I think a lot of people let trauma in their lives be even more devastating because it allows it to stop them in their tracks. And, either they can't get over it, or also maybe sometimes they're not able to get the help that they need to get over it. It's really important. It's really an important thing. I don't think we discuss enough, particularly as we see the homeless population rising. And I think a lot of trauma is causing there, and nobody's helping anybody. And I just think that's all important. All right, then next up, we have a couple smaller awards here. The Daily Show won Best Talk Show. I think deserved. Even though Jon Stewart is on the air just one night a week, I watch every Monday. I think he's incredible. I think he's very fair in terms of, being, his commentary for both the Democrats and the Republicans. I think he's spot on. I think he just does an incredible job. I was a little turned off by Jimmy Kimmel making a joke about, weren't you supposed to have retired? And I think the reason that bothered me is that Jimmy Kimmel really bullied Jay Leno out of the talk show game, insisting that he retire. I remember, I was watching the show with my parents, and Jay Leno had Kimmel on a video tap on his show. And on Jay Leno's own show, Kimmel was badgering him to retire. And it's like, whoa, you're a guest in his house, man. And it's like, Kimmel, just win on your own merit, man. Don't be winning because these better people retire. So, all right. Then John Oliver, also from The Daily Show, by the way, he won for scripted variety for his show. And then, I'm not familiar with this show. This was for writing variety special. Alex Edelman won for Just For Us, but his speech was really beautiful, talking about his collaborator who had unfortunately passed away. So I thought that was, very moving. And then The Traitors won Best Competition, Reality Competition Program. This is the new darling For a while it was Survivor, then it was Amazing Race, and now The Traitors. They love it. Alan Cumming, in fact, the other day when they were doing the earlier awards, won Best Host. So very exciting stuff. And then finally, the Governor's Award for Greg Berlanti. Now, like many of you, I was like, man, you kind of messed up a lot of stuff, right? Like when I said he had a pretty iconic run, some of you wrote back what I had also been thinking of, like he kind of messed up DC, and, Riverdale kind of ended up being not great. Some of his stuff's not been great, and a lot of it's been mediocre. Although some of it, and occasionally he hits a home run, to be fair. However, when he talked about the representation that he has created in the television space, and the movie space, by the way. He just directed Fly Me to the Moon, that's right, but he also directed Love, Simon. He has done a really wonderful job with the LGBT community and their representation. He's a member of the community himself, and that representation that he's brought to television, from his early days on Dawson's Creek as a writer, which they discussed, all the way to today. And those are big firsts that he put up there. I think he put up like First Kiss, First Marriage, right? Those are the two that I recall off the top of my head. LGBT marriage on television. I mean, that's really important. And what really struck me about his speech, and he talked about going from a kid who was in the closet before there was the internet, and all these ways that people can get support today. He said he felt very lonely, and for him to have gone from that to where he is today, a thriving career, lots of representation, out and proud with a family. It reminded me of Pete Buttigieg's speech at the Democratic National Convention. He's also around the same age, where he said he went from feeling he could never have a family and the life that he wanted for himself, and yet Pete Buttigieg said today it could almost be considered ordinary. And to see that, we talk a lot about how technology has evolved in such a short span of time, but it really is true that I think representation, it's of course not where it needs totally to be, but I think sometimes, I know because people are frustrated we're not where we need to be yet, and I agree, and I think it's particularly scary because we're worried about losing that progress, with this upcoming election. But if you take a moment and you look at how far we've come, all the groups, women, different groups of color, different groups, the LGBTQ movement, I really feel like it's incredible the progress that has been made in a single generation. And I think that's really beautiful. And so even though some of his television is crap, I am really impressed with what he's accomplished. And I feel that he was a part of that evolution. I very strongly believe that entertainment is a soft sell on change. It very cleverly allows you to experience it in a way where you feel like, I think for people who might not be sure how they're going to react to it, they can experience it in a way where it's like kind of like testing the waters, dipping a toe in it. And then when it's well presented, then when it comes out in real life, that opportunity, people embrace it. And that's why I get frustrated with the poor representation that we're seeing currently, because it's hurting it. Tenerife says a test run, and that's true. And we had so many great test runs for so long. And now we're having a bunch of unsuccessful test runs that are failures. And I get upset about it, and that's a good way that's the point. That's why I get upset, and I'm glad we had this conversation, because it's not only do I feel bad that representation fails, but it means that when that opportunity for real life representation presents itself, it is less likely to succeed because the test run put such a bad taste in people's mouths. And that is why it's so, so important that Hollywood gets this stuff right. They have to take it very seriously. All right, so that's how I feel about it. This became quite we had a lot to discuss. I'm surprised. I gotta say, I didn't like the telecast itself, but I had a lot of emotions about it. I thought it was really beautiful in many ways. And I think the things that it made me realize and think about were really crucial. So I'm happy for that. And I also want to say I'm happy to you guys, because we're on our own journey, And I think that I've grown a lot interacting with you guys. So I think that that's a big part of my growth and my journey, and I hope that I'm helping some of you as well. All right, so Q&A. We'll do 5 minutes Q&A. Ray son, now international representation. I also feel religious representation. John Leguizamo spoke to that a little bit tonight about the different groups that he'd like to see, that there's still to go. And I thought that was really nice. Andro says that Greg Berlanti's TV shows might not be like award-winning shows, but they've allowed many of us to feel seen and feel safe and that we belong. That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. He deserves the award for that alone. All right. So any questions? I know that the chat's a little behind there. Danny says, what was your favorite show of this eligible year? Shogun. I really ended up liking Shogun. Shogun took me on an emotional journey as well. I really had to just put away my own personal beliefs and just accept Japanese culture. And, although I think Japanese culture fascinatingly is changing, which I think is what Godzilla -1 is a lot about. But, seppuku and my having an issue with it, but understanding the how it was cherished at that time was a big part of me understanding Shogun. Paul Brunel says, I just feel really bad for the Only Murders group. They deserve a win. Yeah, it's really rough for them. They might be the Better Call Saul of comedy. That might just be what it is. Although this new season's really good. I love you too, Ryan. Let's see here. Oh, Chris, I didn't really, I always feel bad about the memorial section of the show. I think it's always tough. I think they always leave somebody out. I thought Jelly Roll was, let's just say, an interesting choice for the music. And then I really, really hated Jimmy Kimmel's joke at the end, where he said, the Emmy for, person we're going to miss the most. I didn't think that was funny. Edward, I do watch Apple TV shows. I just haven't watched Slow Horses, but I guess I better watch it now. Marky Mark says, Grace, what do you think is the biggest snub? Asano from Shogun for Best Supporting Actor. By far! I'm disgusted. Angie says, have you watched Interview with the Vampire? Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying the live stream, Angie. I have not watched it, but I do know that many of you really enjoy it. Netflix is getting it. And I think that's going to maybe hopefully blow it up to where you want it to be. Katie Lady, I think that Interview with the Vampire didn't get more nominations or really any nominations just because I think that AMC, well, The Walking Dead was really well recognized for a while there, but I think AMC has lost a lot of its hold on the awards community. Jesus, The Bear Season 3, I feel is that bad. I feel it's unwatchable and it made me angry. But some people like it. Some people like that kind of stuff, Aizen, I hope Sofia Vergara was just joking with that post on how she was robbed. I'm sure she must have been. But I don't know. She should be careful. Let's see here. Stephen Turner, yeah, Hannah Einbinder for Hacks, who's the other lead on the show, is the only one really not to get any recognition at this point. I think the next season, which they said they're about to start shooting just in 5 days, is going to be a big one for her. I hope that she gets that one. Dominique says, hopefully this opens the door for more historically black drama series after decades of slavery film, civil rights era garbage. I can understand your frustration, Dominique, and I think the black community has made it clear they want to move past those types of stories. I don't know if you've ever checked it out, but The Gilded Age, while it's a subplot, it's not the main plot, I think they do a very nice job with telling that historical story. But I think, yes, like a focus on that would be really fantastic. Heinberg, what was the napkins episode of season 3 of The Bear? You'd have to refresh. I never remember the titles. Kaylin, I agree. Catherine O'Hara looked incredible, but the camera work gave away her gag. when she came out, they shot her from behind, and you could see that she had the second envelope pinned to her dress. So the audience didn't realize it, but when she was tearing up her envelope, everybody at home was like, I guess you're going to go to that envelope on your back. And so I couldn't believe they messed up the gag. That's right, Chris Bliss. There were a ton of ads for Agatha. I saw that. I hope the show does well. Adam Sphere says, I hope Shogun inspires more historical fiction TV. Of that caliber, that would be incredible. That would be really great. Matthew says, when will Severance get its recognition? I don't know. I just hope season 2 is good. They had so many problems with it. It's taking forever. Young Field Mouse says, if asked to be on the red carpet for next year's Emmys, would you do it? You never know. I don't know who's asking. I don't know what my position would be. You might not be aware of this, but they give you positions on the red carpet. It's not first come, first serve. And of course, all the big trades and all the big outlets get the first spots. In fact, if you're like a entertainment show on a network, they build you a little stage to have the actors come and say hi to you. But for other outlets, you get in the back, okay? And a lot of times, actors are short on time, and they'll skip, and you don't get anybody. And you're like, why am I standing here? So the red carpet's a treacherous place. Henry says, what are you most excited for fall for TV? I saw them advertising this show called The Agency for Paramount Plus with Michael Fassbender, who I've been missing after rewatching his Alien movies after seeing Alien Romulus. And I was like, oh, is that Michael Fassbender? I'm watching that. Blue Prada, thanks for the love, even though I saw some of your earlier comments there. But I'm glad we can still be friends. AJ says, do you think Selena Gomez has a chance to win lead comedy actress next year? Oh, I hope so. I'm always rooting for her to keep going. Keep going, Selena. Danny, I did see that Bob Iger was in attendance. A number of you sent his photo, but that was great. I'm glad he was there. Neil said, would the boys be drama or comedy? Ooh, that's a genuine question. We'll do a poll. We'll do a parting poll. Is The Boys a drama or a comedy? Now you'll see how difficult it is. We were just making fun of the bear. But I mean, it's pretty clear that the bear is a drama. But I'm not, it's tough. Why does the poll have weird, let me do it again. Why did it have weird categories? I'm not used to doing these late night streams, my friends. Okay. Is The Boys a drama or a comedy? Drama, comedy. Let's see if this works. Okay. Whew! Is that correct? Yes, thank goodness. Okay. Anyone can vote in a poll, although anyone could be chatting if you just hit the subscribe button. Thanks, Denzel. Okay. Well, hey, Lewis. Happy to see so much history made tonight with Liza Colonzes, Hiroyuki Sanada, and Anna Sawai. It was really nice. And for great work. Okay, I'll give it a moment. We're almost done, and then I gotta go. All right, here we go. I'm ending it. Okay, drama, 65%. Comedy, 34%. I would agree. It's a very funny show, but I think I would ultimately say that it is a drama. All right, everybody. I had a lovely time with you as always. Thank you for joining me for tonight's live stream. I hope you enjoyed the Emmys. I enjoyed them more, having spoken about them with you. I thought this really made me, as I said, appreciate the show more. Thank you so much. Have a great evening and see you soon. Bye-bye.